Hello again. We know the story that happened in Penn State University. I feel that I want to give a message to everybody. I want you to know you can see how corrupted we are from this story. Watch this. A school is supposed to teach children right from wrong and everything good. All of a sudden, they're so corrupted, they're molesting the children, and not only that, they're hiding the law. The people who are supposed to take care of it are being killed, taken off the map. And the FBI doesn't even have the decency to come in and to investigate. Where is the district attorney? He was in uniform. He was working as a district attorney. Can you imagine what that shows us? That proves us that until these universities and the Jewish schools don't straighten out, we have nobody to depend on for anything. We're lost. And that's bad news. The other thing I would like to say is, and that's the good part, at least the world is waking up that schools and universities are supposed to be moral and ethical, and there is a law that they're supposed to report. So now everybody's jumping on the bandwagon. Whoa, we need new laws, stiff laws. There's only a certain amount of states in the United States that the people are mandatory reporters. We need to make new laws. Ladies and gentlemen, it's false. We don't need new laws. We can use new laws, but if we are going to follow the old laws, we will be just as good. Now watch this. There is a law that you're not supposed to defame a victim, you're not supposed to defame witnesses. In our community, you can defame anybody. And on the contrary, not only could you defame and get away with it, the rabbis help you to defame the victims and the witnesses. Look at me. All I did is I opened a hotline to tell the people what is happening in the community with sexual abuse. They ostracized me. 5 years I don't have a place to go to say my prayers. I'm here just like Adam was the first and the one and only man when God created the world. But obviously I'm not in paradise, I'm kicked out. This is to show you the corruption of the rabbis. Every time something goes wrong, there's a sexual molesting or any bad thing, they run to the rabbis and the rabbis make sure that not the victim can come forward and not the parents will have room to stay in this community if they come forward. Then there's the liaisons of the police. And who is to blame all this? The district attorney. He's not doing his job. Now, Mr. Charles Hines, you're not a one and only. I can see that in Pennsylvania they have the same thing. And I can also see that if the district attorney did want to do his job, he was killed. He was vanished from under the planet. And in the other way, I see that in Muncie, where there's also a Jewish community, there was an arrest of Mr. Moshe Turner. And here everybody goes, the rabbis, they have to collect money to try to rescue him. And that they keep on saying it's lies. The victim keeps on calling that he's being humiliated and threatened. So the idea from making now a new law for mandatory report is not going to help. We still have old laws, and that means not to defame witnesses and victims because it's called intruding in justice. And the rabbis are doing this every day. Not only are they doing it, listen to this. They publicize all over that every time sexual abuse happens, you come to the rabbi. I want to understand, isn't that contrary to the state's law? Shouldn't these rabbis be picked up and put to jail for telling the people things against the law, to do things against the law? Why is nothing being done? So let's say we have now a new law, everybody's a mandatory reporter, and they won't report. They'll come to the rabbi and report. What is the United States government doing? to this. What are they going to do? Mr. Government, we would like to tell you something. We pay taxes for the government. We're citizens of the United States. We're not citizens of any rabbi. We're not citizens of any of these congregations. We don't pay them any taxation. We don't need their representation. We want you to make stiff laws that if anybody comes forward, they should get full protection. And if anybody dares to call them up and threaten them, they should go to jail. And this is the unfortunate thing that's happening in our community. The victim that arrested Mr. Daskalovich was threatened. He was thrown out of his house. He doesn't have a shul to go to pray. We just passed now the high holy days. Every child goes to shul with his father. He cried to me that he did not have where to go to shul. And as long as the government will not help us correct this, we are going no place. We need to get rid of these liaisons from the police department. When I was shot, they made sure that they told the police that I'm called the crazy rabbi in the community. They should make no issue out of whatever I say. And that's wrong. Am I a citizen or am I not? Then we have Mrs. Hannah White in Charles Hines' office, who is corrupted for years. They're whitewashing everything. And Mr. Charles Hines, he needs the votes, and he probably gets a kickback too. That's what one of these rabbis from Safeguarding Modesty in our community told me. His name is Rabbi Yosef David Krause. He told me that. He said Charles Hines is on our payroll. Now, all these things make a lot of sense because we have very seldom an arrest. Mr. Charles Hines lies. He says there's 89 arrests. There's not 89 arrests. There's maybe 8 or 9 arrests. And half of them walked away, and the other ones are still being in battle. One of the fathers of the victims has to take a lawyer now because he was accused of bribery. And the other one is Rabbi Leibovitz is sitting in his house on house arrest with lies instead of he should be in jail. Mr. Charles Hines accepted certain witnesses which we hope to prove that they're all false, and he knows that because one of the witnesses, I don't want to mention now the names, I don't want to intrude in the law system. He did this many times and arrested people and never came forward. So the idea of making new laws will not get us anyplace. It's just a waste of time. You know what we need? To implement the old laws. We could make new laws. But as long as we will not implement the old laws, it's a waste of every breath. And you know what? It's a waste of keeping such a big building as the DA's building. He can just run it from the rabbi's office in Borough Park, which will cost him $1,000 rent a month. Because he does everything that the rabbis tell him to do, especially the Munkacher rabbi. He keeps on making gatherings. People make gatherings for him, fundraising. In year 2011, what kind of fundraising is it? Is he running in 2011 for any job? It's all a way to take money legal from the community and to serve us only what the rabbis want, not what we need. Brooklyn is going down the drain. There's so many killings and muggings. A woman goes in the street, she has 12 children, she gets shot. There are so many people being killed in Brooklyn. Why is all this happening? Because the criminals know we have no problem. We'll whitewash everything and everything will be fine. It looks like not only the rabbis can whitewash by Mr. Charles Hines, there must be other liaisons for different communities as well. We would like the FBI to step into this. We have a lot of things to tell them. The question is if they have time to listen. Now, the person that runs OHEL is coming up with a new theory. We have to make mandatory reportship. Mr. OHEL home. You had to do this the past 20 or 30 years. You didn't do it. So what are you trying to do? You're getting on our bandwagon now? You messed up the Jewish community. You, together with the politicians, with Hannah White, and with Mr. Charles Hines, unfortunately. Thank you very much.